This is Geotech Land, and today I'm going to be talking about social media and the ways in which we are addicted to it. Now, there's nothing wrong with using social media to a certain extent, but a good question is, at what point are we overdoing it? Let's find out. If you're enjoying my video, you can subscribe to me on YouTube, PeerTube, follow me on Odyssey. You could also support me on LiberaPay, Patreon, and by shopping at Earth Hero. See links in the description below. So when it comes to social media addiction, how do I actually define it? Of course, many different people will define it in many different ways, but you know you're addicted to social media when it starts to impact many different aspects of your life. Now, to give some examples, let's say because you spend so much time on social media that now you have less time for other things, like other hobbies. Maybe you don't play an instrument anymore, or you've always wanted to learn an instrument, but you just don't have enough time in the day. Or even just being outside doing something, like a physical activity, or just having time left in the day for a jog or a workout, and also not having enough time for other side projects. Maybe you're working on a piece of art, or writing a book, or working on a novel. And maybe you've been wanting to take a class for something to, advance your career. You just don't find time in the day for it. And of course, more obvious ones are you're spending less time with friends and family. Even when you are, you bust out your phone and find yourself, browsing through social media. Or even at work, you could be at work and you're just, instead of actually working and being productive, you're just browsing through social media, which again, for a lot of jobs out there, I know it's always very tempting. Another example is, I guess, depending if you live with your parents or with roommates, or you have your own place, overusing social media will leave you less time to, clean the apartment or do the dishes or any other household chores. There's another component to it because, for example, on YouTube, that's considered a kind of social media. Using me as an example, I like to browse a lot of educational videos, like about science, about chemistry. I could spend hours doing that. And in my head, I would justify it because I would say, hey, I'm learning all kinds of cool stuff. This is a plus, not a negative. You may still be overdoing it even then, and you don't have time for anything else. So those are the many things that overusing social media or just being on your phone in general will impact. All the major social media platforms make their money through advertising. So instead of charging you, they're tracking all your information and serving you ads based on the data they gathered. How do they get you watching more ads? Well, by keeping your attention as much as possible on their apps. They reward content that, gets you to click on a video, but also keeps your attention throughout a video. On the more extreme end, on TikTok and even Instagram, now when you open up Instagram and you browse through a video, as soon as that video is done, it just skips right over to the next one. And so let's say you open up TikTok, boom, you see a video pop up, your attention just stays on all these different videos. And of course, throughout this, they're also serving you ads, tracking your data, seeing what you do, selling your data to third-party advertisers or just any company. And so this is all by design. Now, one thing I've been noticing as well, and again, this is another trick to get you on the social media platforms. Have you noticed that some of your social media apps will now send you notifications when some person that you don't even follow or care for has posted something? Like on Twitter, for example, by default, for some reason, you get notifications of people that they recommend you follow. On Instagram, I get notifications of accounts I should follow. And there's no real way to turn these off, or at least some of them. This is the same thing you've seen with emails, where you sign up on a website, maybe you purchase something, automatically opted into their email marketing, you gotta unsubscribe. In some cases, it's impossible to actually opt out of those emails. Even though this is not social media per se, it's the whole same phenomena with these apps and companies designed to just keep you hooked on something. Either keep you on their platform so you can see ads, or keep you going back to their platforms to buy more things. Then there's that feature on Instagram where when you're browsing through your home timeline and you scroll down, it says, hey, you've seen all the posts already. and then it sends you down to a bunch of random posts. And in my head, I'm thinking, okay, when I'm on my home timeline, I just want to see the people and things I follow. If I want to browse other content that I don't follow, I'll just go to the discovery page. But now they're basically putting the discovery page on your home timeline as well. So just in so many ways, these apps are keeping us hooked on their platform so we can see more ads. We're trying our best to just turn off notifications, unsubscribe, opt out, and it's just a terrible experience. What can you do though to sort of break free from this social media addiction? I think just knowing and being aware that these companies are purposely making their app to get you to stay on their app longer and longer, that's important that you know that. One other thing you could do is that when you're browsing through social media, and I guess even on YouTube, if you can, for certain videos maybe, you might be able to just, put on a pair of earphones or earbuds and do something else, maybe clean the apartment or do chores while you're listening to something. I myself personally enjoy watching a lot of political content, political debates, and I can totally stay on a platform listening and watching. And I realize, hey, I should just listen to it instead and do something else, and that saved me a lot of time. But one other thing you could do is schedule a time throughout the day to browse social media. Maybe you can split it into like morning, afternoon, night. Maybe give yourself like a set schedule, maybe 5 to 10 minutes. I know especially in the morning, part of social media is kind of checking what's new or if you have any important notifications while you were sleeping. So of course you naturally would want to check that and see if you're missing anything important. Maybe check the news, check the weather. Maybe some of that you could do while you're making your coffee or making your breakfast. Another thing you could do, and I think this is more of a longer term solution, but there's actually alternative social media apps like Mastodon, PixelFed, that are entirely funded by the community, so it's not for-profit based, and so you don't get any ads at all. And because their goal is not to keep you on the platform, they're not designing it in a way that's addicting. Like when you think about it, when Facebook started out as a thing, it used to be a place where you can keep in touch with friends and family. Even then, there was some criticism, people posting mostly positive things, and it kind of makes people more depressed browsing through it. People only post their highlights rather than their lowlights. But nowadays, people are sharing all kinds of content. Your timeline is cluttered. Now you can see when someone comments like on a public post and it's all just a scattered mess. And of course, the advertisements are always increasing. Your timeline is algorithm based, so you can't even control what you're seeing. It's just whatever Facebook recommends now. You actually really have to dig through your timeline to even find things that are related to like your friends and family. Now you're just seeing promotional content really. It seems like the advertisements are getting worse on every platform, whether it's YouTube, Twitter, Instagram. It's like getting way more aggressive. So I'm really hoping one of these other alternative platforms continues to rise and one day replaces the for-profit social media platforms. But let me know what you think. Do you think you're addicted to social media? At what point are you overdoing it yourself? Do you know people that are addicted to it? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you like my video, please like, share, subscribe, and I will see you all next time.